I am live from the harbors of Alameda, California, and this is your Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac weather. My name is Christopher Witecki. I am the Sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart each day and walk in the light. Thank you so much for joining me on my light walk today. I'm lovecasting live in 5 dimensions from the beautiful temple at Gaia in the harbors of Alameda, California on Wednesday, July 1st, 2015. And it is a passionate and dramatic day for a couple of reasons. For one, Step 9 Cancer rules the day. That is, I am what I feel. So today people will be acting out on how they feel, and you'll see I'll be encouraging you to step into how you feel. But also, we are blessed with a full moon in the next 24 hours. That is a tug-of-war between your heart and your feelings, and we'll be talking about how to navigate that full moon and what it means for each of the 12 signs. In fact, in your personal Sensei today, we'll be talking about the full moon madness, the mania, and the tug-of-war, and I'll give you details on how to navigate that, and then later, in your Zodiac weather, you'll find out exactly where the full moon hits you. But first, let's start with our spiritual calisthenics in our personal Sensei. Welcome to your personal Sensei for Wednesday, July 1st, 2015. Well, today might be a tumultuous day emotionally, today through tomorrow, both passionately and also to some degree a bit of a release. That's because Step 9 Cancer rules the day. Step 9 is where I am what I feel. And so this is the time where people act on what they feel. And a lot of people will sit around not acting on what they feel. And this is why this degree can be kind of explosive if people have not been in tune with who they are. Now, to add gasoline to the fire, we have a full moon in Capricorn today. That means emotions are the highest they can be in the transit of emotion. So today it's the most emotional day in the emotional month with our ego added in. And that's what Step 9 is, the ego. So let's move on to our conscious soup and understand a little bit better. Now, I call it conscious cooking because I believe we're always cooking up something in our consciousness, and what it is who we want to be next. So we're always trying to create ourselves and recreate ourselves. And when we're in Cancer, we're creating our emotional side, our emotional soup. And our emotional soup basically is my metaphor because this soup is basically what you stir or eat with the rest of your meal for the rest of the year. So this emotional broth that you're creating, this emotional tone that you're creating in your life right now is a tone that will pretty much stay for the rest of the year unless you do some really intensive work to change your life outside the month of Cancer. So I implore you to stand up and emotionally mature now. Now today we add to our emotional soup the ingredient of ego. Ego is the part of you that is defensive, that defends you, that gets up and does things, right? So this means that into this steaming pot of emotion, you are adding your ego today. So expect to get angry, expect to get sad, expect to get passionate, expect to get mad, expect all those things. Your ego is there and it's very opinionated. In fact, our ego is the most opinionated and most judgmental part of ourselves. It's okay. It's the part of us that judges that we're in danger and need to get the hell out of here. It's the part of us that judges like, you're not good enough for me. So we need those ego when it defends us, but we don't want the ego when it offends others, right? And that's the high and hard balance of it all. So today we add our ego, and part of what we have to manage is whether or not we want that particular spice ego in or we don't want that other particular part of ego in. So some ego you want, the parts of your ego that encourages your emotions, the parts of your ego that makes you feel stronger. But of course, the ego that just wants to lash out or get revenge or win the day or show you one day, that is all the part of the ego that represents the old Gaia, the old earth that we are ascending above. So when you stir up your ego and you leave just the right ego in, what turns out from the steam is manifestation. So with the right blend of feeling and ego response today, you will manifest the first tone, the first emotional soup tone, as I like to say, for this year. Now don't worry, we're only in the first act of Cancer. We have 2 more acts. There's always 3 acts per sign. So here in the first act, this is really just the first tone. This is what you call the base tone, or in TV and film, we'd call it the room tone. For those out there who do TV and film. So we're creating our room tone right now. What's most important is that the tone you create is free of the ingredients you don't want. So the pain you went through the last year, don't put that in the new soup. All the struggles you went through with so-and-so, don't put that in the new soup. Don't bring any of that new soup into this new reality. Saturn and Scorpio, if you watch Cosmic Clock, you'll see is a big part of us getting rid of the bad flavors forever. But do embrace the ingredients that your ego loves. If your ego just loves how good you look, go ahead and keep that in. It's okay. Don't worry, I'm sure you won't go too far. Not if you watch this show every day. Leave in the good ego stuff, the stuff that empowers you and makes you feel strong, and let that simmer really for the next 36 hours. You'll see tomorrow we're going to talk about simmering. So to prepare our conscious soup, let's begin our calisthenics with the phrase of the day. I feel my decisions today, and I am ready to act. Notice I don't think or remember. I feel my decisions. I feel my decisions today, and I am ready to act. Now, the important thing is we made the decisions yesterday. Business came in yesterday. You should know what you want as of yesterday. If you don't know what you want, go back, rinse and repeat. Be clear on how you want to feel next, okay? That is not part of what today is. You do not want to be deciding as you act, as you launch. You don't decide where you want to go as you launch the space shuttle. You should know before. Okay, so decide. Therefore, I feel my decisions today, and I am ready to act. What this does is put your mind in sort of a Yoda pose, where your hands are behind your back, and you are ready to act when the right time comes. This keeps you from being too impulsive. This keeps you from being premature anything, right? Or when I was used to run track, they used to say, on your mark, get set, and wow, I'd be running. Witecki! Step 9, you have to wait for go. So I've realized, you want to make sure you're mindful of your decision. That way, you're ready to act. So one more time to keep it in our minds. I feel my decisions today, and I am ready to act. And so it is, because I said so, I thought so. So moving to our soul calisthenics, let's first calibrate our color and breaths. In yellow, that is what we are in. We are in yellow, lots of yellow. Some people commenting on the site about all the solar plexus energy going on. Good, I'm so grateful that my viewers are paying attention, are conscious of it. This is the great time to do it. Feel your yellow. This is the part of your center and being, and do some breath work. I recommend 3 breaths that blow all the chunks and dirt and anxiety out through the front, and 3 breaths that blow through the back of your yellow chakra. Breathe in and breathe out. Now today, because we're going to take action, you also want to ground. So you can take 3 breaths from the top of the crown, down through and out into the earth. 3, down and out. Down and out. And make sure these are big, deep Buddha breaths, and you exhale. Let out all of your anxiety. Let out all of your temptation to act too quickly. Let out all of your anxiousness. And with the red chakra lit up today, go to the gym. I'm talking to myself here. Go to the gym. You'll feel better. And then finally, what lights up, if you do the yellow and red correctly today, the orange, the chakra between the two, right? And notice how this works, how yellow and red will light up before the orange. I'm watching the flashing of how the chakras work, and it goes yellow, red, orange, right? So these are the 3 areas. These are what you want to empower. Now, as you are moving through your day, your soul challenge is to act on what you feel at least 3 times today. That's what I challenge you to do. Act on what you feel at least 3 times. Now, I think it's most powerful and magical to do small acts of self-love, not big ones, okay? Because when you do the small one, you'll be ready for the big one when it comes. So 3 acts of what you feel. So it's like, you know what? I feel like steak and eggs. I know it's high protein. I know, but I'm going. I feel like it. So you've got my permission. You got a hall pass from me to act 3 times on what you feel. Just don't kill anyone or hurt anyone else, okay? I got to say that disclaimer. And meditate on how you feel during the action. Okay? Sensei wants you to pay attention to what the action feels like. A lot of people get so caught up in the action, they forget to experience it. So pay attention to how the action feels. As I ate that steak, it felt great. Or whatever. right? And then finally, that brings us to the wrap-up of today and our joy quest. Your joy quest, should you choose to accept it, my friend, is to boogie on through that magic door. That's right. Remember, we've been building up to this day after day. Well, now it's like boogie on through. Whatever the magic door is, dance on through, my friend. We got the Star of Bethlehem in the sky. We got a full moon. It is time to act on and boogie on through what you want to do today. And the way you manage this and the way you keep yourself centered in the full moon and beyond is that as you're walking, you stay balanced and mindful of your feelings and mindful of your decisions. Because the full moon, in my opinion, is going to make the two sides so clear. This side is one and this side is the other option. And if you're going to boogie through the right door, you need to know which is the right door. And that comes from very simply being mindful of your feelings and being mindful of your decisions and being ready to act on your decision. To me, that's how you navigate a full moon. It's kind of like, instead of getting caught up in the winds, just focusing on steering into the winds and focusing on the navigation. All right? So when that full moon comes or when that opportunity comes today to make that choice, my friend, boogie on through the magic door, and it will be clear if you are mindful of your feelings and you are mindful of your prior decisions. All right, let's move on to today's calisthenics and our telepathy. I know I like to do telepathy. This is where I send a message from my mind to yours and see if you can pick up on who I'm sending. We are doing cancers today and working on our cancer vibrations. And these cancers are funny cancers. One of these three funny cancers I am thinking about. Which one is it? Is it number 1, David Spade, funny cancer? Number 2, Will Ferrell? Or number 3, Jane Lynch? One of these funny cancers I'm thinking about. I'll have the answer right after this. What does it take to find love these days? What's your greatest strengths? How do you love? I'll tell you all the nuances about you dating, what kind of gifts you want, what kind of marriage you want, what kind of person you want to live with and don't want to live with, and of course how you love, how you lust, what you're drawn after, who chases you, and your greatest lesson, which is often a weakness. Your birthday love and lust report has that answer. We'll reveal your secrets on video at secretsofbirthdays.com. And welcome back to Namaste Today. Incidentally, I am really digging Alameda, California. Very charming, kind of old neighborhoods. This harbor is gorgeous. The weather is gorgeous. And I'll be in the Bay Area for the next 3 weeks. So if you'd like to meet your sensei, show me your garden, or show something interesting to shoot in the Bay Area, come on down to soulgarden.tv, click on Namaste Ambassadors, and fill out the simple form. I'd love to meet you and connect. And before we move on to today's telepathy, I want to do a shout out to my personal Sensei subscribers. If you are a subscriber, I'm going to give you 2 special full moon texts today. At 11 a.m., a special text that'll talk about where the full moon will influence your daily life. So look for that at 11 a.m. Then at 3 p.m., your local time, a special text that predicts how this full moon might change your life story. And I think there's a lot of life stories changing right now. If you'd like to experience the personal text service, come on down to SiriusStory.me. It's only 99 cents for 1 week. You can cancel at any time, and I made it easy to cancel too, just to make it easy on my subscribers. No one does, though, I have to say. It's kind of rare. Just saying. So moving on to today's telepathy, we're looking at funny cancers today, but only one of these funny cancers I was thinking about. Was it number 1, Cancer David Spade, number 2, Cancer Will Ferrell, or number 3, Cancer Jane Lynch? Which was it? And the answer is Jane Lynch. Ta-da! Isn't she great? I think she's funny and bizarre. Now, Jane Lynch is a step 22 Cancer, which adds to a 4 Aquarius. So she's kind of an Aquarian weird Cancer, and I love that humor. In fact, my favorite role with her is 40-Year-Old Virgin, where she plays the creepy boss that hits on him. I thought that was so cool. But you know what's interesting is David Spade is actually the most evolved Cancer of the group. He's a step 29 Grand Master, which is kind of a Virgo Cancer. So I would describe that as a whiny Cancer, right? Virgo. And then Will Ferrell, turns out he's a step 23 Cancer. That's an intellectual Cancer. What I find about that is I think Will usually plays an idiot with all of his intellect. So he uses that master intellect to play an idiot, and they say it takes a master to play an idiot. So all 3 are funny, but my favorite, Jane Lynch. Hope to meet her one day and give her a reading. So moving on to today's rock and roll gospel. Today's rock and roll gospel musician is someone that you might have heard of, I'm sure. You might have even seen his work with Glee and with Jane Lynch on camera. I am speaking to Oscar Hammerstein II, of course, of Rodgers and Hammerstein, the musical and playwrights. Of course, he's responsible for South Pacific and King and I and all these great musicals that you've heard of. But I thought it'd be really fun today to kind of go into South Pacific, and because it's Namaste today, the song of the day is "Oh What a Beautiful Morning," as sung by Hugh Jackman. So check out this video. I found a Hugh Jackman version of "Oh What a Beautiful Morning" from South Pacific. Always funny to see Hugh doing those roles. Hilarious. And get your musical on today. Get on your cheesy musical to go out and face your day. I think it will help. So let's roll on to what it's all about with you in the cosmic clock and the zodiac weather. And here we are with the cosmic clock. Well, for starters, the sun is at step 9. That is, I act, I am, I feel. So we are acting on how we feel today. And as I mentioned in the personal Sensei, this is a danger for people acting out or going too far with their feelings about something. So be conscious of that. Now, adding gasoline to the fire is Mars. Mars is at step 4. That is, I belong. And so when you put the two together, it is I act, I am where I belong. So this can be dangerous for people who may be held in emotion or have been putting off something important for a long time, letting a lot of pressure build up. This Sun-Mars combination makes it somewhat lethal if people are subconscious to their true feelings. Then, of course, we have to add the full moon. The full moon is a tug-of-war between what our heart feels, the sun in Cancer, and what we actually feel. Now, keep in mind, we're trying to change our feelings. So if you actually feel a certain way and you want to feel another way, that's the point of the full moon, okay? So what you do is you steer into how you want to feel and you let how you don't want to feel go, and let that energy go. The universe will help you with that, and the moon will cross over Pluto tomorrow, which means it'll be put to a bitter end, and so it is. Then finally, the Star of Bethlehem, Venus and Jupiter conjuncting, Venus between 21 and 22 degrees. So step 22 is that quantum step, that Jane Lynch step, okay, although she's in Cancer. And so that means that our hearts are ready to make not just a change, but the big change, the new birth of an inner king or an inner queen of our heart, right? The newborn king. So it's a powerful time, my friend, and I say step into who you really are, step away from who you are not. But before you go off stepping, let's take a look at the moons of each of your brothers and sisters today, and a special full moon soul vitamin. And your soul vitamin is, of course, sponsored by the full moon in Capricorn. And I'm going to give you some clues today on how you need to respond differently to this full moon, okay? So how we need to respond differently to the full moon, and how each of the signs, I think, will feel in the opposition. In the 11 steps of Sirius joy for each of the zodiac signs, starting with the secret step, step 0, the Scorpios. Pardon the planes, we're going to keep rolling here. Scorpio, sunny with a chance of a foul mouth in the full moon. That's because it's time to respond differently in your thoughts and conversations. So the part of the moon that you have to go is the old talk and the old rhetoric. Step 1, the Leos, sunny and hyper aware of their health and body and lifestyle today. It is time to respond differently to your health and your lifestyle. Let the old life go that prevents you from having faith. Step 2, the Cancers, sunny and super sentimental today, but it's time to respond differently in this full moon to old and new marriages. So respond differently to the exes and respond differently to the current marriages. All the above, Cancers, you're changing. That's because it's Cancer, it's your sign. Happy birthday, by the way. Step 3, the Sagittarius is sunny and manifesting today, but I would recommend you respond differently to all business offers. You got to feel rich when you respond that way is basically how I think it has to go. Step 4, the Aquarians, showers, chance of storms with this full moon energy. I think you need to respond differently to your old fears or respond differently to old past karma. So respond as if it's over. Get it out of here. You're done with that shift. Step 5, the Geminis, cloudy, chance of storms today, I think, as well. You need to respond differently to attempts to control or manipulate a situation. And that's either you manipulating it or letting other people manipulate you. Respond out of that shift. Step 6, the Librans. Showers chance of anxiety today. That's because you have to respond differently to your own feelings today, Libra, instead of responding to other people. Wonka wonka. Step 7, the Pisces. Sunny and social today, but it's important to respond differently to your friends and the public because you are changing how you feel about who you are in the world. Step 8, the Capricorns. Sunny and super cool in this full moon in their sign, so they're probably feeling pretty good. But you know, because the full moon is in your own ego, respond differently in your behavior, to actions, or anyone's threats. Don't respond the old way, whatever that was. Step 9, the Aries. Sunny and professional today, but I recommend you respond differently to any major life decision or any career offer. So respond in the new successful Aries, not the old one that's been beaten. And they always have, at least once. That's the Aries story. Step 10, the Tauruses. Cloudy and passionate today. Respond to how things should be, Taurus, not how things actually are. Okay? So you got to kind of up there, and it's not the way you think it should be, but that's okay. It's going along your way, isn't it? Step 11, the Virgos. Sunny and childlike today, but it's time to respond differently to the calling of your heart's desires. So if you usually ignore your heart, do not do that. Respond differently to the heart in this full moon. So looking at our Lightwalker parade. Hey folks, if you're on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. I thank you ahead of time. And on Facebook, you can be my friend by coming to namastetoday.me. And of course, you can always come on down and follow me at Twitter at Witecki. And if you'd like a reading or Secrets of Birthday product or any of the spiritual products I create, come on down to soulmart.me. And folks, I am wishing you a happy, happy full moon. Step into the light, honor your feelings, remember your decisions, turn away from the past, and boogie on through that magical door. I'll see you in 24 hours with more, my friend. Until then, remember, I love you, and live, love, be. I'm Lovecasting live in 5 dimensions from the beautiful temple of Gaia here in